Hey Fae folk, welcome back to another doll tournament video. This was a series that I had fully intended on retiring, but then I thought you could do one for the holiday Barbies. And even now as I say that, I'm thinking I could probably also do one next year for Valentine's Day and Halloween at the very least. Like there are certainly enough of those Barbies to do tournaments for. So I guess let me know if you want to see more of those. But for now, we are bringing back the tournament format just for now, just for the holidays, to figure out what you all, the Fae folk, think is the best holiday Barbie of all time. Reese is here to tell you whether you're right or wrong. She's probably going to leave before the end, and the answer is inevitably you're wrong because she's always right. But yes, if you haven't seen my tournament videos before, the format that we go through, which was the same for this one, is first I post on the community tab, and I generally leave this post up for like 3 to 4 days just to give you time to reply. And I ask you, hey, what's your favorite of, again today for the category, holiday Barbies? And so you all comment and comment and comment, and then I go through and tally all of those comments up, and then the 8 dolls that have the most votes then get posted into a tournament bracket, and we'll talk about what happens after that a little bit later in the video, just so I don't like overwhelm you with information. So, Reese, I have to stop petting you just for 1 second, you absolute little angel, so that I can tell you all who you voted to even be included in the tournament. So, let's pull that up. Now, I do want to apologize in advance here because obviously holiday Barbies don't have like individual names. They're sort of just like the year. So there are going to be a lot of numbers, and I'm really, really going to try hard not to mix them up. I did already mix them up during like the polling process for this video. So I'm doing my best. I do apologize if I'm incorrect at any moment. You are being just obscenely precious right now. But to get to the votes, the top voted doll was the 2008 Holiday Barbie, who we will be showing pictures of all of these in a moment here, with 15 votes. 2009 got 11 votes. 2004 had 10 votes. 2002 and 2003 both had 7 votes, which I think is interesting because they are obviously like subsequent years, and to get the same number of votes, I don't know, I just thought that was like a funny little coincidence. And then we had 1996 getting 6 votes. 2007 got 5 votes. And then we had a little problem because I can only fit 8 dolls in my tournament like system here, but both 1998 and 1989 got 4 votes each. So we had to start things off with a little tiebreaker poll. So now I can explain how the polls go. So for everything else in the tournament after the like first initial community post, like free for all voting, I just post a poll on the community tab. Hey, which of these two is better? I leave that up for 24 hours and then we take it down, and those are the results. That's who's moving on next. So that was how we handled this tiebreaker. I asked you whether you preferred 98 or 89, and 55% of you said 89. It was quite close, which makes sense considering in the free-for-all voting, they got the same number of votes. But that means that 1989 got to be included in the tournament, so she is going to be today's final contestant. With that being said, let's take a look at her and the rest of the contestants for today. So I don't participate in the polls, which means I'm going to be giving you my opinions here and then sprinkled throughout the rest of the video. I do think that 89 is pretty solid. A lot of the older holiday Barbie is like really up through like 2000. You definitely still see it bleeding into the 2000s a little bit, but there's just something very, very voluminous about a lot of the dolls from the 80s and 90s from the Holiday Barbie line, and she's certainly no exception with the huge ball gown, the fur, the stole, and the enormous hair and hairpiece. I will say I sort of wish she had a different hairstyle and perhaps didn't have the hairpiece, just because I think the dress is so big, and when everything is so big like that, your eye doesn't always know sort of where to land. Like it can be just a little bit visually confusing. It's not the worst. Like, it's not like, ew, she's an ugly doll because of that. That's just my little nitpicky preference. But I will say that I really like the white dress with like the fur stole and everything, just because it does feel a little bit more winter versus like directly Christmas, which is something that a lot of the holiday Barbies have a problem with. And it's not that it's like bad to have a Christmas Barbie. I just think it's like a bit of a misnomer to consistently make holiday Barbies, and so many of them are blatantly Christmas themed. Whatever. We're not getting on that tangent right now. Point is I think she's wintry and pretty and sort of princessy, so I understand why she was included. Complete opposite, 2007, our next contestant that we're looking at, I was shocked, like completely shocked that you all picked this one to be included, just because this is not really one of my personal favorite holiday Barbies, which I guess means that it shouldn't be shocking because I frequently have sort of unpopular opinions. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's like a ball gown Santa dress, but with the lace trim and everything, it's also giving like sort of lingerie Santa dress. It's just sort of a weird vibe, and it is very on the nose Christmas, not holiday. Like, they're not the worst dolls the Barbie has ever produced. Not even in the holiday line. Like, we've seen some really bad holiday Barbies. I should do worst tournaments in the comments. Tell me. Tell me below. Yeah, I don't really get it, but if you all are happy, that's what matters. And you all voted for them to be in, so here they are. Then we had 96. So you're seeing again that voluminous silhouette here, where we again have the ball gown, a lot of fur adding volume, the huge hat, the big hair, and even like these super duper poofy shoulders. I do think that this one is like a little bit less overwhelming to me. I don't know if it is because like the waist at least is quite cinched to give like one part where it's tight, or maybe it's just that I like the hat a lot better. I don't know. These are pretty solid. I don't know that I've always felt that way because I know I did ages ago a holiday Barbie ranking. And I was pretty harsh, I think. So I don't even know how I ranked this doll in that video, but as of me right now, she's not too bad. 2003 is a hard one for me just because like objectively I do think these are pretty solid dolls. Like I don't think that they're ugly by any means. I don't know. I think that just through the virtue of like when I grew up, I was born in 97. So like I was on the tail end of the 1900s, but I feel like I saw a lot of slightly older dolls growing up. Like I definitely still saw dolls from like the early 2000s, but I also recall seeing dolls. Like I know at one point I saw the 1996 Barbie in person as a child, which was the year prior to me being born. So I think that I just have like a certain nostalgic feeling for a certain genre of holiday Barbie, if that makes sense. And these don't really fit it. They're very pretty. They're giving more like wintry goddess. And to me, that isn't like what I feel when I think holiday Barbie, but also people feel different things. And you voted and you like this one. And at least on an aesthetic standpoint, I can understand why. 2002, she's grown on me, okay? I have said in the past that the like vines on the bodice are just making it a little bit too foresty and like not enough wintry for me. But like the more I look at them, I'm kind of getting the vision now. Okay, I'm kind of seeing it. I'm a sucker for a ball gown and the sparkle, and I really like the like draping, cowling. I don't even know what you would call that. Whatever it is though, it does look pretty sick. I can admit it. Two more. 2009, very pink, very Barbie. So I think that maybe that's why a lot of people really like this one. The makeup is pretty heavy, which I do think some people really enjoy as well. I don't know. I think she's a pretty doll. She's just not, she doesn't feel holiday to me. But again, that could just be like my interpretation of how I feel about them. So it's not like I'm dunking on anyone for disagreeing. I just, yeah, like I would rank them differently and like them differently on a holiday Barbie scale versus just like a Barbie scale. But I will say they're certainly not ugly dolls, so I can kind of get it. And then our last contestant for today is the 2008 holiday Barbie, which I personally think is very funny because this is not one that I enjoy historically. I understand why people like this one. I mean, the top half of the dress, I will say, very gorgeous, very pretty stuff. And then she does feature somehow some way into, I believe it's Barbie Christmas Carol. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't like know what's going on there, but I think there was like a cameo where there was like a character wearing this dress, and so I understand the connection there. I get why people like it. Whenever I see the bottom, I just think of like tinfoil cupcake papers, and that's all I can see, and it really does aggravate me to like a startling degree. I actually did a video, I don't know how long ago, where I like quote unquote fixed some holiday Barbies, and this was one that I made some edits to just, I literally like needed it to just be less tinfoily, and then I think she's gorgeous. So this one kind of made me laugh, but I can understand why you all like her. I just can't get that out of my head. But with that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the matchups that I made for everyone. So 2002 and 2003 were an obvious matchup just because they had the same number of votes. They both got 7 votes in like the initial community poll post. So I feel like I had to put them together. Then we put together 1989 versus 96 because they are the only 2 dolls that made the tournament list pre 2000s. So those felt like a nice fair comparison. Because like, again, obviously the shift is sort of gradual. Like, it's not as though 2000 hit and suddenly everything was a vastly different style. But I do think you can definitely see a extreme like style shift between the 90s and like the mid to late 2000s holiday Barbies. So I didn't feel like in the initial like round of tournaments it would be super fair to pit a like earlier Barbie versus a later Barbie. So for the first round at least, we were doing two earlier Barbies against each other. The last ones were sort of hard. I ended up putting 2009 versus 2004 because they were only one vote apart on that initial post. So it felt like they were fairly evenly matched, which did mean that 2008 and 2007 went up against each other. And like 2007 was the second lowest vote and 2008 was the highest vote. And I usually try to avoid doing that in this first round of matches, which is the only round I have any control over. But they were the two left over, so that's how that went. So let's jump into the polls and see how that fared. Or at least we will in a second. We're not starting off that matchup. The first matchup was the 2002 Holiday Barbie versus the 2003 Holiday Barbie. I really want y'all to bear in mind these two had the same number of votes to be included in the tournament because I just find shit like this so fascinating. I say it all the time in these tournament videos. So, over the course of 24 hours, 780 of y'all voted, and 69% said that you preferred 2002 to 2003. I do think I agree when you put them side by side. Like, I don't know. As I said, the 2002 one has really grown on me over time, and I do think those are really, really pretty dresses. But I was so surprised that this was not such a close race when they were literally tied before. But like, that's a solid win. So it's just one of those quirky little things that happens when you have like an open-ended question, hey, give me your favorite, versus when you say, I'm forcing you to pick between those two. It's very interesting to me. I love seeing this sort of thing happen. But in this case, I actually agree. So 2002 gets to move into round two. Next up was the Battle of the Oldies. I say, fully knowing that they're not that old, or, at least telling myself they're not that old because one of them's only a year older than I am. Anyway, though, 730 of you voted on 1989 versus 1996. And this was another very clear-cut winner, with 1996 getting the win here. I do think I agree on this one. While I like the dress better for 89, just because I really am a sucker for that, like, frosty, like, winter look, like the all-white shimmery. I love that sort of thing. I do think for a holiday Barbie, something about 96 just feels a bit more like a complete look to me, and it just gives a little bit more holiday for the vibes that I think about. So this is the poll where I messed up. I mislabeled one of the dolls in my first attempt at placing the poll, so we had to try for a second time. Thankfully, a lot of you guys alerted me like very quickly that that was going on, so shout out to all of you for spotting my inability to type numbers correctly. 2009 versus 2004. 509 of you voted on this one. Not as many as the others, but it is what it is. And 69% of you said that you preferred 2004 to 2009, which I think I agree with if we're talking about the doll in the red dress. Like I said, she's so much better. Green dress? 2009 should have won if we're going green dress. But I guess if you're going both, you could like pick which one you like. So I do think that if we're going off of the better out of the two options for 2004, I do agree. She's just like, I think it might be the velvet. Something about the velvet, like richness, it just feels a little heavier and feels a little more holiday to me. I don't know. Doesn't really matter if I know though, because you all said that you preferred her, so she gets to move on to the next round. Okay, now we're at the contentious matchup that I hadn't really intended to happen this early on. The top voted 2008 versus the almost bottom voted 2007. This one was shockingly close given like how vastly different the votes were, but 648 of y'all voted, and 57% of you said that 2008 was better than 2007, which I do think I agree with, even though I complained about her, and even though I have complained about her consistently on the channel before. 2007, if I recall correctly, was also one of the Barbies that I like quote unquote fixed in that video. I don't know. I think 2008 has better bones than 2007, and also this one had the popular vote for sure. So like I'm surprised 2007 had like such a fight in them given how many more votes initially 2008 got. In the end though, 2008, like the Christmas Carol and everything, like you couldn't fight that, so they get to move on to round two. So obviously from here on out, I had no hand in the matches whatsoever, so this was out of my control. We saw 2002 going up against 1996. 678 of y'all voted, and with 66% of the vote, 1996 won. And again, I do think I agree. I feel a little bit less strongly. 2002 really, literally, like as I'm filming this, the more I see her, the more I'm like, wow, she's kind of good. I don't know what I was on about before, but 96, it just feels so holiday to me. Again, like it could be an age thing. It could just be because that's like the type of dolls that I remember seeing growing up. Not that like literally 2002, I have more of a reason to remember than 96 because I wasn't alive in 96. And by 2002, I would have been 5. So why is it that 96 feels more nostalgic to me? I literally don't know. I guess I must have just been exposed to a lot of older Barbies when I was younger. But I do. I just think that like the holiday vibes are really immaculate. So I'm very happy to say that she gets to move on to the finals. As far as who will be joining her, we had 2004 going up against 2008. 838 of you voted, and this was crazy to me. Mind you, again, 2008 had the most votes to be included whatsoever. They only got 21% of the vote to move on. So, with a 79% vote, 2004 is going up against 96 in the finals. I'm just baffled. I'm baffled. I don't know if I agree with this one. Just because, again, like the red dress 2004 is carrying so much. I don't even like love the 2008, but I feel like the bones are better. And like when you look at the green one for 2004, I don't know. I guess either way, like it's whatever. Ultimately speaking, my opinions on this whole tournament were mostly literally none of my favorite holiday Barbies made it in. So it's not like I have any particular stake in this. I just find it fascinating. Whatever the case may be, yeah, 2004 still on the board. So as I said, that means that our final tournament is going to be between 2004 and 1996. 894 of y'all voted in this final little showdown here. And with 63% of the vote, we are crowning, like, I don't know why I said we, you, the Fae folk, are crowning 1996 Holiday Barbie as the best Holiday Barbie who has ever been made. So quick little round of applause for the 1996 Holiday Barbie. I do feel like a little bit of joy for her just because again that's like the era that I associate with holiday Barbies. And like again, I can remember seeing specifically like the snowflake on her hat is like the part that I remember the most. I just think she's really really pretty. It's not that like the other Barbies in this contest weren't. I just do think she's kind of fun, and I kind of love the fact that a doll from that era got to be the winner here. But what do you all think? Are you happy that she won? Are you super disappointed? How far does your favorite make it? Did your favorite even make it into the tournament? Or are you like me, where you just didn't get to root for your favorite at all because no one else voted for her? Please do let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. But that's going to be it for me for today, y'all. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night, whatever it might be. Happy holidays to everybody, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.